Hey, girlfriend, you know who you are. You have big, big dreams. You want to write a book, stand on a TED Talk stage, be a life coach offering wisdom from your RV in Montana, a cafe in Barcelona, or a beach chair in Tulum. Your other girlfriends and your family, they don't always get your biz savvy. Why do you want to leave your JOB? Because you're a CATS, aka coach, author, thought leader, and speaker. Meet other change makers like yourself and find out how they make it happen. This is the Big Meow podcast.
Hello, cats. It's Kristen, and I'm here with Shannon Talbot. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Kristen. So great to be here.
So tell me about this book, Unleashed. I'm so excited to hear about it.
So excited. I actually just submitted my first draft to my editor today. It comes out in the fall. Super exciting. And really, it is a book that I wished I'd had growing up. Well, not super young, but, as I started to contemplate my career and what path I wanted to go down. And it is a book about how you can just unleash your true self, follow your dreams, and go after the career you want. So it talks about, what holds us back in our life. It talks about, those fears, those excuses, everything that get in our way of us going for things. It talks about how you can, break free, how you can go after them, how you can tell yourself new stories, and how you can just create that vision that's super exciting and motivating enough to get through the messy parts in that transformation. And, the best part is it's part how to, but then also part real life stories of various women and, how they made it in their careers, whatever their career path was, and just how you can have more success all around in your life.
That's a lot to unpack there. I love it. But I think it's so true, Shannon. I feel like we, don't always feel like when we're younger that we have the permission to do what we really want, right? We kind of, I know that when I became a TV news reporter, no one in my family had ever done that before. And, we had some lawyers, we had a doctor, we had people that were way more traditional. And they thought I was like an alien, because I wanted to go this other path. So I think especially our younger selves, we don't always feel like we have the permission to follow a path of destiny for ourselves if we don't have any legacy in our family for that path. I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I totally agree. I come from a very small town here in Canada with, my mom was a teacher. My dad was a lawyer. You had very set career paths. I worked in banking for 15 years because I went to school for business and was that was just what I thought you had to do. And I'm going to let you guys all in on a little secret. I shared for the first time ever, I haven't even told my husband, my dream job in high school was to be a motivational speaker. But at the time I was like, that's not a job. Who can do that? That's silly.
Right.
I threw it out the window. But that was what I wanted to do in high school. And then, but yeah, society and other things told me otherwise and to go on a traditional path.
What's so interesting about this too, Shannon, and this is what I love about what you're saying is that, if we want to be thought leaders or have a transformational message in this self-improvement marketplace, which is all of us coaches, authors, thought leaders, speakers, all of us cats, we really have to develop a strong personal brand. We need our own voice, our own identity, our own unique interests that set us apart from other people. So we're not just super bland, vanilla. So I feel like it is important for us to be able to kind of dig deep and say, what is it about us that is unique, that sets us apart, that lights our soul on fire, that is really in the zone that we're super jazzed about? And how do we unleash that?
Yes. And that's the $1 million question and so important. And I think the thing is, and I know everyone here, I'm sure at some point or another, we suffered imposter syndrome or self-doubt, or we are so good at telling ourselves all the reasons why something won't work or why something is silly. And to kind of answer your question with a story, when I became a coach 2 years ago, I compared myself to people who'd been coaching for years. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not as good as them. I don't have as many followers as them. And who am I? Like, who's going to want to work with Shannon Talbot? Like, why would they want to work with me?
We
And
all have that little bit of
yeah.
imposter syndrome. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. I feel like, when you're putting yourself out there, you're turning the dial, fine tuning, launching new things. There's always that little nibble of doubt, like,
Totally. Yeah.
work,
Yeah. And I see it with my clients too. And I think the thing is, they're coming to me because of my background, because of my experiences, because of what I went through.
Right.
And I'm attracting people who were me, like, 10 years ago or whatever that may be. And I think that's the thing. I think we forget how much even our upbringing, our experiences when we're young, it all plays a part in who we are. And I think sometimes we just get caught up in how we think we should be, and we forget to just be our authentic selves and how incredible we are at the core, and how much more energizing it can be when we take the armor off and we just act, how we want to act within reason.
No mimosas at lunch. No.
Yeah.
So what do you have, like a mantra that pulls you forward?
So my mantra I started using in 2019, and my mantra was big, bold, and brave. And it actually took a coach teasing
I
that.
like it. It's working for me.
Yeah, big, bold, and brave.
Big, bold, and brave. I love it.
I say it when I'm doing cold showers in the morning. I say it over and over to get me through it.
That's too brave for me, but okay.
But yeah, I think that's just, it reminds me that we don't have to play small. We can all play big. There's room for everyone at the table. We don't need to hide pieces of ourselves, and to just go out there, and the world needs all of your gifts and all of your bigness and boldness and braveness. And it's just, it's scary to do it, but it's so worth it.
Absolutely. So what's something that you discovered that really changed everything for you in your career? What's that pivot point?
I discovered, and it actually will tie back to, I was reading Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. My oldest was in hospital for an extended period of time, and a friend of mine told me, oh, you have to read Michelle Obama's book. It's so good. And I literally got it that same day, was reading it in the hospital room that night while my son was sleeping. And she talked about how she was this, super successful corporate lawyer making really good money, but it didn't light her up. Mm-hmm. And she didn't want to do it anymore. And so she, took the time, figured out, went down the path of, she wanted to move into healthcare. And that was the first time in my life where I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can choose a career that makes me happy. What? And it was like a light bulb moment. And it was just so empowering and yet silly. But it took me hearing that to then set me on a path to uncover what I really wanted to do. And I didn't know at the time. So that's when I actually started. I worked with coaches, I got therapy, I did all this stuff. And that set me on my path to now having my own business as a coach and speaker today.
So what would you say to other cats out there who are thinking about leaving their job? What would you recommend to them?
I would say, and actually one of the women I interviewed for my book, she shared a brilliant piece of advice, which was, don't run away from something, run to something. So I would share that advice. We can be so miserable in our jobs. We can be burnt out. We can lack motivation. But my advice would be, take the time, and, whether it's working with a coach or a therapist or reading books or just networking, but take the time and find what lights your fire, what will get you excited, and don't worry about the how. Throw the how away. The how will come, but just let yourself dream and let yourself go there. And in my case, my whole background was in banking, and I made a statement that said, I am a successful entrepreneur that helps women live happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. And at the time I was like, I have no idea how the heck I'm going to do it, because I don't even have like psychology or any any social works background, nothing. But I knew that that is what would light my fire. And I think that's the first step, is just setting that vision and then taking it one step at a time to get there.
I feel like you really just nailed it. It's like knowing that destination point. Like, we don't always have to know how we're going to get there. I mean, we get in our car all the time and we drive somewhere and we don't know what each path along the way is going to look like, or, where we're going to stop and get gas, or, where we're going to eat or whatever. We just know we're going from here to there, right? We know that destination. And I do feel like, if you start with the end, and there's so many great philosophers who've said start with the end in mind, but I do feel like that is such a great important set point, because you will get there. Like, whatever your destination is, you are going to arrive there simply because you've set that point as this, place in your heart that you will arrive.
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's a great way of looking at it. I've never thought of it that way. Beautiful.
So, Shannon, what is next for you?
Next for me, well, I'm super excited. I have my book coming out in the fall, which is really exciting. That's been a dream of mine since I think I was in grade 5. I've been wanting to write a book. I'm also expanding. I'm starting to travel for my speaking engagements, which is super fun. I'm so glad that, the virtual is great, but in-person events are really, energizing as well. And then I work with really great women. Primarily, I have some men clients, but I work with really great women who, are looking to unleash and really looking to go after their dreams. So I have a couple of programs as well that I work with my clients on for one-on-one groups.
Super exciting. Where can we find you?
You can find me at shannontalbot.com or on Instagram at shannontalbot_coaching.
Love it. Thanks for being on the Big Meow.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Thanks for listening to the Big Meow podcast, sponsored by Cats Network. If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe and share this podcast with your friends. You can also join our network filled with positivity and possibility. Visit www.catsnetworking.com to join us and learn more, together with your magical, motivated, and mystical new friends at Cats Network. Let's transform 1 million lives with your message. Are you feeling isolated sitting at home in your PJs? Or perhaps you're tired of the comfy sweatpants with holes in them that are hidden just below the camera? I mean, you could puke at the thought of another day of Zoom meetings and reporting to your BOSS. Do you want freedom from your home office desk or the office cubicle? Do you want freedom from your current career? Or are you frustrated that your online biz dreams are going nowhere? It's all too overwhelming. Where do you start? All the tech, the choices, and your message. Yep, I said your message, your brand, your voice. What is it? Do you even know what that means? Do you need a biz coach but don't want to invest the big bucks? Let's face it, being a solopreneur is lonely, but you don't have to do it alone. And here's a solution. Join Cats Network. Cats Network is a woman-only membership community exclusively available to you, the life coach or executive coach, the author, the thought leader, or the public speaker. If you identify with this list or want to work on adding some of these to your skill set, Cats is the place for you. Check us out at www.catsnetworking.com. That's CATS networking.com. Because let's face it, cats are better together.